Hey everybody, it is John the Comic Guy, and I want to do a fun reveal video. And I'm still thinking about how I'm really ultimately going to do the culmination of this video. But my friends at Comic Capsule, I don't know if you guys have seen those commercials for Comic Capsule, but they mailed me a couple of samples of their products. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about comic skins. I'm talking about comic capsules. So if you're on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, give a look up and you're going to see what I'm talking about. But you know what? Why don't you just sit tight and watch me do my reveal? So to do this, I just got it in the mail today. Once again, I'm taking out my blade. What kind of blade? This is the blade I made, ladies and gentlemen. So by the way, you can see my name on there. I electrochemically etched my last name in there. Plus, because it's one of my smaller fun blades, it's my little Rigby blade. So that's kind of cool looking. Look at that. It's like, that'll cut a steak, huh? Anyway, let's open this package up and see what these comic capsules are all about. I'll give all the comic capsule information to you as well. And this might ultimately, just because I'm doing this on the fly, this may be a couple of videos, so just bear with me here. But let's open this little bad boy up. Yeah, that blade's like a little razor blade. Cut. Cut this little bad boy here. Done. Okay. Now, I've seen comic capsules opened up before, and they had that kind of wacky confetti. That is not how they shipped mine, which is good. I don't want all that crap around. So, goodbye. See? Nice little box. Goodbye to that. Let's see what they say here. Dear John, I hope this finds you well. Comic capsule. Okay, I like it. Okay, so they're just welcoming me and giving me some samples, and look at that. So actually they gave me 4 samples. Interesting. 2 with black tops and 2 with white tops. So what the heck, let me open one of each for now. I only took out 2 comic books to sample for now. So as I'm talking, I'm kind of giving some thought on the best way to really do a review. So maybe this part of the video will be me shoving a comic in here and seeing how it looks in here. Then I'm going to give my assessment. As we all know, right, I often talk about the comic skins. So just maybe I should do kind of like a UFC fight-off. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll really see which one I like more. But okay, very cool design. You know, initially I'm thinking this is like a top loader, but this is a top loader on steroids. So for me to compare this with the top loader, that's an insult to this. This comic capsule is a much sturdier product. I could already see it's gonna. I'm gonna open the second one because I could already see they slide into each other, which I think is a cool thing. So again, these are comic capsules, black top, and then the clear top. I like it, but already what I think is cool is, look at that. They slot right in each other. So maybe in this comparison, I'm going to certainly give my review because it's all fair. They were kind enough to send me 4 of these. But I think to make it fun, let's compare it with the product that I talk about a lot, huh? Yeah, I'm going to do that. But okay, let's see how this works. Wow, that's easy. Okay. I'm being all gingerly with it, but this is sturdy. So I'm going to slip this out. So again, I'm not going to do my review yet. You guys deserve a real good review, but I like it. I like it. It's sturdy. And in my most recent collection I got a couple of copies of this, so let's just slide this little bad boy in here and see how it looks. You know, I bet I could put a bag and a board on this too, but For all intents and purposes, I'm not going to do that. If I were to put a bag in a board, I'm going to put a current, actually forget the board, I'm going to put a current Mylar on this because it's a tight fit. It shakes around a little bit, but it's a tight fit. Yeah, man. Look at that. Okay, I'm ready to start reviewing, but I'm not going to because I'm going to give it some thought. But look at that. Yo, I like that. Okay, let me open up, let me pop open the black one. So that's a nice presentation, right? Anybody who says this is like a good top loader, they're not doing it justice. And this is a sturdy man. Okay, hold on. Look at this. I'm going to pop it open. Easy. I'm not even worried about breaking it anymore. But let's try. Okay. Another comic that I got at my most recent take. Hey now. So let's pop this in. Little black. And you know what? It was a total coincidence that black cover, black top. Let's try it. I'm going to slide this in. Yeah, look at that. Oh, this is okay, guys. This is a little more of a snug fit. I don't know if I can slide this in. It's the right size, but all right. I'm just going to let this roll, but I'm not going to be able to put this one in because this book, look at that. Look at it. Look at that. Okay, that'd be snug. Okay, so the 30th anniversary Spider-Man, out in Z. I cannot put it in here. I'm going to have to put another book in here. So, on that, oh, and by the way, what I kind of liked is they gave, with it, they put it in their own little kind of snug bag. It's not Mylar, but a little bag, a little protective bag. I'm going to give this some thought. And then I think I'm going to do a little fight, kind of like a UFC battle between this and Comic Skins. And I'm going to give you the real deal. I'm going to tell you what I really think. And I'm going to think about, yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm going to think about the categories from ranking of least important to important to me. And then I'm going to compare the comic Capsule to a comic Skin. And we're going to decide which we kind of like. And right now I could see some differences, but I like them both. So let's be fair. I want to be fair to everybody. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit more in depth in the next section of this video. Now, before I start with the comparison, let me give a quick shout out to Mike Rediger. Mike is one of my buddies on Facebook. He's from the New Jersey area. He is in my Facebook local New Jersey shows group. So he and I have been connecting, and I want to give a shout out to him because he posted the comment, please watch John's videos. They are very helpful for the comic book industry. And brother, thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate it. As we all know, all that I'm doing is I'm kind of just talking with my friends here on video. So for me, it's a pleasure to do this and just kind of share what I've been doing for the last 48 years. But I do appreciate your words. And brother, since you're a New Jersey boy, I really hope one of these days you and I connect and we could do trading or something. So thank you again. Now, let's talk about this little competition that I'm doing between the comic Capsules and the comic Skins. First off, make no mistake about it. These products are both great. I'm trying to make this a little bit fun, a little bit different than maybe a typical a review video that I might do. So I wanted to make this fun because both products are great. I think, for myself, I'm going to end up getting both. But with these points that we're going to go through today, I think they're the most important points to me. And I'm hoping, if you were to judge in your list of points that are important for a long-term comic preservation method, you would say the same kind of points. And this might help you gauge which one you're going to buy. But I suspect the answer is going to be both. But with that being said, let's call it like a boxing match. The tail of the tape. Let's see the different points of importance to me, and hopefully these are matching what you think. The first point is the ability, I'm going to hold on right there. the first point was going to be hanging on walls, but I wanted to make one quick clarification to you. On the earlier portion of this video, I showed you one had the black top and one had the clear top, right? It's actually a little bit more. On the clear top, it's actually a clear back. And you can see that because here's one without a comic in there, and Comic Capsule has their instruction sheet, and on there, in the instruction sheet, as you can see, it's clearly visible from the back because it has a clear top. On the black topped one, it's actually blocked in the back. So the same data sheet's in the front, and the same data sheet is in here. But as you can see, because they have black plastic here, you can't see the back. So if you have a wraparound comic, right, pardon me, you're likely going to want to stick, if you have a wraparound comic, to the clear top rather than the colored black top. For most comics, this is not wraparounds. This black top might be a better look for you, especially if you're putting a label on there. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that because it's more than just the top. The back is actually covered with this black plastic backing. Okay, let's go. So bear with me here. Let me get... So hanging on the walls. Who has the advantage here? Well, if you're looking, by the way, I love this look. Spider-Man 2099 was not a part of my own private collection before, but I think I'm going to keep it now because I love the way this looks. But you notice on the back, you have that little area for either a nail or a screw. You could put a nail or a screw on the wall, and naturally, unchanged, you can hang this on your wall. Okay? They thought of that. With comic skins, there is nothing that you could just naturally use to hang this on a wall. So, does that mean you can't hang it on a wall? Of course not. What I won't do is say and suggest that you use tape or anything like that. I took the liberty of looking on eBay for some inexpensive ways to hang comic books or graded books on the walls. And I found one very reasonably priced. So I'm going to show it to you. It's like only $6, $5.99, $6. A very nice way to display graded books or comic skins. And again, a comic skin is the same size as a graded book. So keep that in mind. If you buy that clip, which I think is a great solution, you're adding to the price, right? So naturally, because of that, who wins this point? The comic skin or the comic capsule? Clearly, the comic capsule wins there because they thought about it, and you don't need any extra hardware to kind of hold this in place. You can hang it like a picture with a nail or a screw. First point goes to the comic capsule. The next category, box storage. Now, with the box storage, I think we all know John the Comic Guy likes plastic corrugated magazine boxes for his entire collection. In those magazine boxes, I could put graded books, the same size as a graded book, is the comic skin, slides in there. However, keep in mind with the magazine boxes, whether it's graded or the comic skin, those books are a little taller than the box, so these are going to lift the lid up a little bit. I'm okay with that. I don't stack my boxes like that, right? I have them on shelves. So please note, these are a little taller than the magazine boxes, but they work so well for me. I've done it for over 20 years, and I'll continue. However, I bet a majority of you don't use magazine boxes. I bet a majority of you have standard comic book boxes. And that includes my inventory. When you're in my garage buying comic books, I'm using standard, for the most part, standard comic book boxes. Graded books, comic skins, they don't fit in a standard box. So Krista and I went to the garage and just checked this out and saw if it fit nicely in a standard comic book box, and it does. The only caveat is, just like graded books are a little taller than a magazine box, this is just about a half-inch taller, approximately a half-inch taller than a standard comic box. So if you had this in there, again, you're going to want to be mindful about stacking heavy comic book boxes on top of each other. But if they're at your house or you're displaying them, these do slide in. The width accommodates a standard comic book box. So because of that, even though needs might be different, for me, knowing that I could put this in a standard comic book box, the point, once again, goes to the comic capsule. The next point on the tail of the tape is ease of use. So, with the comic skins, this is how a comic skin will come. So let's just look at this. So first you get this, which is the side rails. Description. Then you have the well, which every time you buy a comic skin, you do need to pick the well size. And then you have the clamshell plastic protection, right? These are solid. They're built like tanks. However, again, you have to pick the well size. And they come in 3 different sizes. They come in the standard comic, they come in Silver Age, and they come in Golden Age. Why do you have to pick your well size? It's not obvious. The comics are different sizes. If you were to put a standard size comic book in a Golden Age well, you would have some slippage, right? They would kind of slide around. So what you want to do is you want to pick the right well. After all is said and done, that makes it a little bit more complicated because with these, this holds only current type books and Silver Age books. And we tested that too last night. Krista and I took out a Silver Age book, popped it in and slid it. But so you saw the comic skin, right? You have to put your book in the well, then you slide this well into the clamshell comic skin. Then you have to put the side rails on. It's a couple of steps. For ease of use, it's a little more entailed. It doesn't take rocket science, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But let's see the simplicity of the comic capsule. Boom. And then I can slide my book in and out. So, yeah, I gotta say, this design is a simple one. So, the comic skin has multi-steps. The comic capsule, you pop, and this thing is not going to be breaking anytime soon. You pop it, then you tighten it, and you're good to go. Then you could, again, hang it on the wall if you want, right? That's simple. So once again, the point for ease of use goes to comic capsule. The next point now is UV protection. UV protection, if you're hanging your books up, I am conscious about not leaving my books out more than a week or so, right? I rotate my books so I enjoy all the different covers. However, some people might have these up hanging for a longer time. And by the way, my office is really not a super bright beacon of light, right? I keep it hidden from natural light a lot. But as far as I know, comic skins are not offering UV protection. Comic capsules, they actually have UV protection. I'm impressed. I'm so impressed because even CGC says their cases don't have UV protection. So really kind of now you're looking at a real great way to display and truly preserve from natural light your comic books. So again, I gotta say, thumbs up to these guys. They thought of the UV protection point. So that point goes to the comic capsule as well. The next category is comic snugness. What do I mean by the comic snugness? This kind of goes with the ease of use discussion because you need to pick a well. You need to pick the correct well. So again, if you had a Golden Age well for your comic skin and you put a current book in there, it's going to slide around a little bit. I don't blame comic skin for that. That's on me, right? Let's take responsibility for our actions. If we buy a Golden Age comic skin well, or a comic skin, and choose the Golden Age well, and you put a modern book in there, brother, that's on us. So what I do, because I have used up some Golden Age wells or Golden Age skins because I needed them, all that I do to accommodate that is I'll put in a Mylar bag on top of the comic. You can't see it. It's crystal clear. I slide the Mylar bag in here, and it's snug as a bug in a rug. So because of that, I find comic skins to be great. I pick the wells the best I can, but if I need to accommodate a Golden Age well with a modern book, for me it's easy and it doesn't bounce around. Now look at the snugness, how well it holds. And by the way, I'm going to display it. This happens to be a modern book, but again, I don't shake any of my books like that. I'm not tossing them around. This is a snug fit. Comic skins, they're great. They snug fit. Let's check out the comic capsule. They basically have one size right now. I heard for Silver Age or bigger books, that's in development, and I hope I hope to see that soon. But so this is for current or Silver Age books. It's tight. It has about a 1/4 inch of sliding around. For me, that's not an issue because I'm not shaking my books around anyway. But if they slide, it's minor to a point that I don't see that being any problem. So if you're talking about snugness, again, on the comic skin, if your books aren't snug, that would fall under the category of user, not manufacturer error. If it's not snug in a comic skin, that's user error. Your books in a comic capsule are going to be snug. So again, with the ease of use, there's a little bit more on a comic skin. Here, it's basically decided for you. I call that a tie. So I'm giving a point to both. So with that, comic skins are finally on the board. Comic capsule, you still get the point. These are great. One thing I'm going to point out right now, and again, for me it's no big deal because I wouldn't even put, whether it's a Silver Age book or a modern book, I wouldn't put a bag and a board on here, right? That kind of defeats the purpose of having it transparent on both sides unless you're using the blacktop one. However, I tried to slide in this book in a current sized Mylar bag, and it was a little snug. The edges of the Mylar bag are just a little bit bigger than the opening in here. So I think if you have the regular polypropylene bags that are for current books and it's really snug on your comics and with the backer board, that'll fit in here. If you lean towards Mylars like I do, this is going to be a problem. I would just put the comic directly in here as I have done in this case. So again, I don't want to belabor the point, but in terms of comic snugness, they both get a point. Okay, fair? The next is sturdiness. Again, we all know with the top loaders, they're not very sturdy. That's why I don't even want to put them in the competition. So let's look at the sturdiness of this. This is solid. UV protection, solid. I kind of also like they slot right into each other. They fit right into each other. So they lock similar to the CGC books and the CBCS books do. They lock in place. I like that. These are great. There's no doubt. These are solid, long-term preservation vessels for your comic collection. From a 1 to a 10 in terms of sturdiness, I say these are a 7. Now, with comic skins, it's a little thicker. I say it's a little sturdier. I kind of look at them as they're, while the thinness of the book of the comic skin is slightly thinner than a CGC book when it takes up book space, I bet you the plastic is virtually the same thickness. So if you're looking at the comic capsule being a 7, I'm giving a comic skin in terms of sturdiness a 9, maybe a 9.5. So because of that, I give the comic skins the point on this one. But again, let's not, no mistake about this. These are solid pieces too. 7, okay? Next category. Again, these are, I'm kind of ranking these in importance to me. The next one is custom labels. Well, I think we all know with the comic skins what I'm capable of doing with my custom labels here. I think I make that like a work of art. I, out of all fairness, have not tried the comic capsule labels yet. They give me measurements to do labels. So what I'm going to do is I have like the A4 sticker paper. I could be magical with that stuff on Photoshop. However, the dimensions of their labels are really only from these edges and this height. So it really gives me about a ½ inch to work with in terms of visibility from the front, and about a ¼ inch of working space that's visible from the top. I'm going to think about that because while they're only accommodating the movable part, I'm wondering if I make my label creep down onto the front plastic, and that might make it tamper evident. Again, I don't want to get into the discussion is, am I trying to make tamper evident books? No, not really, but this is going to give me the ability to at least have more surface area for my printed label. So I got to think about that, and if I do, I might show that off to you guys. But for now, I have to say, because of the label limitation there, if I did print a label that was just according to their dimensions on here, I probably would not have room for graphics. I probably would not have a lot of room for relevant key information and the creative team. It probably is just going to be the title. And I think we all know I like to put a little bit more information on my books than that. So for that, I would say another advantage goes to comic skins for the labels. The next category is price. Comic skins are about 2/3 of the price of getting books graded. So they're not cheap. And again, I'm not going to add in the additional cost. If you want to hang these on a wall, you have to add an additional $5 or $6, $5.99, $6. But approximately, let's just go ballpark, the approximate price of a comic skin is about $19.99 or $20. Approximately. If you get our discount, it gets a little lower. So let's just say $19. Okay, I'm going to round it to $19. That's the price of a comic skin. The price of a comic capsule, and you'll notice if you go on the Comic Capsule website, and I'm going to post their website, if you actually buy packs of 10, they offer free shipping. So if you buy packs of 10, you get free shipping. These are about $9 to $10, $9 or $10. So if you're really kind of comparing, these are about a half the price of a comic skin, and they're a third of the price of a graded book, or of a CGC graded book, approximately. So I have to say the clear winner in terms of price is the Comic Capsule. Clear winner. Last but not least is a very subjective point, and that's size preference. I think we all know John the Comic Guy is very OCD. I have a lot of graded books. I keep all my books in magazine size boxes, right? The white corrugated plastic magazine boxes. But if I'm looking at sizing, because I like uniformity, whether it's in my bookcase in the back or the ones that I keep in my boxes, I tend to lean towards CGC or graded book equivalent sizes. Again, on this, as you can see, the comic skin matches the size of a graded book. The comic capsules are about an inch, maybe inch and a quarter less wide, and about an inch and a half less tall. So again, this does tie into boxes. It depends. So this is subjective because you may not like graded sizes books. I do. And since this is my show, I'm kind of saying if I had to pick one or the other without picking both, in terms of sizes, I would likely lean towards these comic skins. If you are the type that you don't have graded books and you're just trying to keep books in your comic book boxes as is, you may be forced to say, absolutely, the comic capsules. But that all being said, let's kind of tally it up. And I hope you guys understand. That's why I said it's subjective, because my sizing preferences are for graded books. But these are amazing. So let's do the teletape and let's see who the winner was. If you really tally it all up, point for point, the comic capsules win. In my view, I say, because I wanted to really keep this fair, and I wanted to share my preferences too with what points are important, I call it a tie. These are great products. Both of them are great products. But especially if you're trying to fit these books, either put them on the wall, fit them in a current size, a regular comic box, I think you want to give these a try. They're great and they're half the price. So if you like this content, if you like the way I did this little comparison and kind of shared how I really thought about it, I have a tie on my hands and I'm going to support both of these. I think these are both great products. I hope you do as well. I hope you like the video. If you like this content, if you like the information I'm sharing, please sound off on the comment section. And I would also encourage you to please hit the subscribe button. And you could hit the subscribe button using YouTube, or you could go to the bottom right-hand corner and click on that UCG symbol, and that should subscribe you as well. But I had a great time doing this. I really want to give, again, another shout out. We all know I work with Mark from Comic Skin, but I want to give a shout out once again to Andrew Lai and his team out at Comic Skin. Or, I apologize. Whoa. Sorry about that. Andrew Lai, who is the co-founder at Comic Capsule, and his team, they made a wonderful product. They made a wonderful product, and they sent me some samples. So I really want to give a shout out. I think these are fantastic products, and everything we did today was all in fun, right? Because these are both, no doubt, great products. Just pick and choose, and hopefully my list of priorities help you decide on what you want. But ultimately, I say, get them both. They're great. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate these products. Andrew, hey, well done. Great product, and thank you so much for sending me 4 of these.
Good girl.